Hi, Mark and Pam. This is David Justice. As you know, this is a SketchUp tool. I'm not as proficient as this guy is, so I was looking at some. It's a Google tool called SketchUp, and anyway, so I'm gonna pause this for a minute. This is basically an example of what would be your house. Of course, this is not exactly as your house is because you have your lower section and so forth. But this is a general idea. This would be like your upper story, and he's going to take this and he's going to reverse this and put it over on the other side. So my suggestion is to put, as we've discussed, like one here, and that would be like where your bathroom is. The opening would be like basically 3 feet wide, 4 feet, so it's not square, but it's a nice rectangle. Give you give you lots of light. Imagine 4 feet up and 3 feet wide of light coming into the bathroom, coming into your bedroom here, and this reversed on the other side. So a dormer here and a dormer here on the other side, mirroring being an exact mirror, exact representation here and here, and then that one, and then that one. So I'm going to let this play and let him do his SketchUp, and I'll interject things as I see a need to kind of clarify what's going on. So he's just explaining that he's going to do a replica on the other side of that, as I just said. So, and his work is, he's really good. I'm not as proficient as he is with this, and I was looking at some SketchUp stuff, and I thought, well, gosh, this is already done. Why reinvent the wheel? It's much more effective. It's not copyrighted, so I'm not infringing on any copyright. He's finding a middle point, which, as you see, is directly across. Now, imagine here's your bedroom, here's that window, and here's your bedroom. Here is a dorm. We build a dormer here, and one over here, and then you're here the other bedroom, and then the bathroom here. So, of course, now this is an interior wall which doesn't exist in your home now upstairs at all, but we would create a smaller wall deeper deeper into the roof line, and I called it a pony wall, which would be something like this, right, instead of the full wall. And then you'd have your beams coming up and exposed beams, and we'd put the sheetrock in there, as I referred to, and clean, make it real nice, and give you that little reveal of maybe a couple of inches of your nice beam, your nice 2x4 rough sawn beam. Of course, you see what he just did. He's making sure that it's centered from one side to the other, and then he's taking the width and he's just dividing it straight down the middle. So that would be the equivalent. You take this here, and then you put one here. You make sure this all, one here and one here with the same distance in from the roof, from the edge, and centered. So it's, oh, he's moving real fast, and I should probably pause him for a moment so I can explain that a little bit more thoroughly. Let me wait till he gets to another roof visualization or something comparable. That'll work right there. So you come in basically from the edge here, and you center it. And you come in from the edge here, and then you center it. So the distance between here, center line here is the same distance here, same distance here. And basically, so you're splitting it, so you're getting it, so it's all symmetrical. Now, Mark, these are the interior walls that I was referring to. He's going to add them, and this is what I was referring to once he gets to that point. This would all be sheetrocked. This would be sheetrocked, except where the window is, of course. And so I talked about having all that finished out, every bit of this finished out, so you wouldn't have to do anything. Installation, you'd have your, you create a 2x4 using 2x4s for your walls, basically, and your bump out here. So I'm going to let him move forward on this, and you'll get a clearer understanding by just watching the visual. Now, of course, if you wanted to, you could put a full wall in here. You know, that is a possibility. So you just put a full wall, and then of course you could have storage down here at the lower section, as I referred to earlier too. But you're going to lose a lot of, you're going to lose your, I mean, you can see how much space in here. I mean, you're going to lose all of that. So I don't know if that's what you want to do. But that's something you can consider, and we would have to work that into the general design of it. And you see how both of those are just opposite of each other. And in a bit, once he gets the eaves created, he'll yeah, the roof will come together. But I'm gonna pause him for a moment, and I'm gonna let him go on, and then I'll explain a couple of things here that will help you kind of visualize better. I'm gonna let him create the roof line and the eaves and everything like that. So now this is a pretty standard way of creating a dormer. It's a very kind of a classic. It's a beautiful, beautiful dormer. And honestly, you can research a dormer $2,000 to $5,000, but you know, we talked about it right at 1,000. So that's always helpful, right? I'm gonna pause that. No, I'm gonna let him go on, and then I'm gonna pause it. I'm gonna show you something. Okay, good. Now, obviously, this is your metal roof. Yeah. Here, this is all half-inch CDX. This is half-inch CDX plywood. This is half-inch CDX plywood. There's flashing. We have flashing here. We have flashing coming down here, so it comes up, and then the metal comes up. So we don't have, obviously, so we're not going to have any leaks. Again, 3x5, 3x4. Yeah. I think 3x4 should be sufficient. It's a good-sized window, and you'll get a tremendous amount of light. So going back, half-inch CDX plywood. There is a product called FanFold, and what it does is it's folded up, and it's 4 feet. It's basically 4 feet high. So the equivalent of that 4 feet high and 50 feet long. So it just unfolds as a fan, and you wrap the dormer with it, and it gives you 3.5, 4 inches, the equivalent of about 3.5 or 4 inches worth of R value. So it's almost like it's only a 1/4 inch, but I mean it's or thereabouts, and it'll give you like 4 inches of insulation already. So that's going to help keep you warmer. And then when you do some insulation on the inside, additional insulation, it's going to be nice and tight and toasty and or cool in the summer. So again, half-inch CDX plywood. And then your hardy plank on the exterior here, half-inch CDX plywood here. This is your decking, half-inch CDX plywood here. On this would be your metal. This is where we'd put that bubble wrap with a foil I talked about, Mark. And the same thing for all of your roof here. Of course, this is a shake roof, as you see. But first, so I can actually walk through the visual on this. This is real simple. Using this as an example, if this is your decking and this is your house, okay, this is new decking everywhere, okay, that's that half-inch CDX. It's called Rex. It's got about a R1.5, I guess, value. You can literally put it on the roof, and it won't. It has a 6 month. It'll last 6 months, and you wouldn't have to put anything on it before it started having some impact on it. It's that high quality. So the Rex would go over here. The Rex would go over all of this. Then first the Rex, and it's kind of like the house wrap I told you about. Then the bubble wrap, which would go over this. all the way over here. So you've got like an inch, the Rex about inch and a quarter, inch and a half, the equivalent of inch and a quarter, inch and a half worth of insulation. The bubble wrap's about 3.5. So you're going to get approximately 4.5 to 5 inches, the equivalent of 4.5 to 5 inches of insulation, as though it was up in your attic. Okay, so that'd give you like an R4 and R5, and then whatever we put up in the attic will just be added benefit up. So if we visualize this coming down here and here, I mean, I'm not popping the lines or anything. So if you can imagine, here's your space in between your rafters right now, or your joists, actually rafters, ceiling rafters, and so you've got you run insulation in here, and then you put your, as I talked with you about, Pam, you put your sheetrock here, and then you get that, and so you've got insulation, sheetrock finished out. So again, going back to this, Rex, bubble wrap, and then your metal roofing on top of this. Here, the fan fold, first your CDX, all this is CDX plywood, every bit of this, and all through here. Then you put your fan fold here, which gives you that like an R4, and then you put your here we will put the hardy plank. So all this right here that you see would be wrapped in hardy plank. Underneath, you put your eaves, and so let me move. Well, you have your eaves up underneath, and you wrap those. That'd be CDX plywood also. Let me let him go on and move forward, and you'll see more. Okay. Now you see how that is? Sorry. I hope this is loud enough. I'm not sure. This is obviously you've got your eaves here. I'm glad I took the time to go in and actually recorded it once, and didn't like where I ended with it, and so did it again so that I can get you a little bit clearer overall representation. Now again, this is a very standard dormer. There are several different names for it. You can call it a dog house, a DOG house, a gable dormer. You can call it a DOLL house, which is what I call it, because it's like a little doll house. And there he's adding the shingles. That's where we would add the metal. And voila. Well, no, he's not through yet, is he? It's close. Yeah. So there you go. Ooh, maybe I can stop him. Good. I can stop it right there. That is an exact, if you take the roof off, that's exactly what this would look like from one side to the other. Pam, this is what I was saying. So if we take this visualization here, so here's actually out the back of your house right now. There's their big plate glass window. And Mark, I know that you guys are going to want this beautiful deck extended out here. I mean, nice, kind of a bit of a pony wall here, and roof coming down. I mean, kind of tying it in with this roof. I mean, it's beautiful. I mean, so you wouldn't even know that it wasn't even originally built. I did something like this for a friend of mine's. When I was pastoring full time in Dallas. I did an extension add-on roof for a friend of mine's, one of the gals, realtor in his congregation, and we tied everything together and made it just like it was all one, which we can do here and pull this out, and you wouldn't even know that it was not even part of the actual part of the way that the farmhouse was constructed. Had you not I mean, you just wouldn't know it, that it had not originally been built like that. And that's what we did for her. We tied back into the rafters and so on and so forth. I won't go into it. Doesn't matter. So this is a great representation. Again, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and you don't want to have one here and then, in other words, so you don't want to have one here and then you have one over here, and then you have these two that are evenly spaced, and it doesn't look right. It's just not. It's not an acceptable building. It would throw the whole aesthetics off, and so we need to look at your interior bathroom and so on and so forth. So, okay, I think that probably. Let me see. I don't know that there's much left of that video that he's doing. So let's see, maybe so, but I'll allow him to. Let me stop it right there for a moment. No, it doesn't matter. I think that'll stop it right there, and I'm going to thank you.